engineering has changed my life because it's really allowed me to think outside the box. The engineering industry really does thrive off continuous improvement, and I think that this has really allowed me to always think with an open mind and an entrepreneurial mentality when it comes to the innovation of my respected industry.
Engineering has opened my eyes to the complexity of systems in the world and helped me understand that there is no one simple answer to anything, and that collaboration and diversity in ideas is most necessary to find the best solutions.
My computer science degree gives me the ability to work on solutions that can satisfy people's needs, combat existential problems, essentially advance the capability of our species, and also do work that can benefit all of mankind.
Engineering has changed my life because it has further strengthened my skills to help affect positive change in our communities. I'm pursuing a career in peace engineering, which I define as working with local communities to develop sustainable positive change, and I'm so excited to apply my engineering and leadership skills to help others.
My goal is to teach when I'm done with school, and I would love to teach here at ASU. Being able to show others how to solve those problems of everyday challenges will be very rewarding.
Engineering is fun because you get to express a creative side of yourself. I think when many people think of STEM, they don't necessarily think about it being super creative. They think of science and numbers and things like that. But in order to create these very innovative solutions, you need to think creatively and you need to think outside of the box. And so I think being able to exercise that creativity definitely allows engineering to become a really fun outlet.
Ever since I was little, I've always been a problem solver. Every class I take and problem I'm faced with involves applying my education to solve a problem, much like a puzzle. This is what keeps engineering fun and interesting for me, because I know I will always be working towards something that will help improve the lives and welfare of others.
The community that ASU provides is so special. Being involved, pursuing leadership, and getting to know amazing mentors has made these last 4 years at ASU more than I could ever have imagined. I am graduating surrounded by some of the most amazing friends, some of the best mentors, and really, really supportive family. I am so grateful for the way that ASU and the Fulton Schools has given me so many chances to have so many different opportunities. I am so grateful for the way that I've been able to mentor other students and to help other women pursue engineering.
One last thing I'd like to share out of everything is that Fulton and ASU have inspired me to commit to being a lifelong learner. There's always a new challenge, methodology, or insight that's waiting to be learned about. I trust anyone to try not to be complacent. Always try to be bigger than yourself. You'll never know where you end up being.
One thing from my experience in the Fulton Schools that I will take with me is the friendships and connections that I have made with my fellow classmates and professors who assisted in my success. My peers who I've studied with since freshman year of college and become friends with through the years have allowed me to develop a family within the Fulton Schools, and I look forward to watching each of their careers develop as we go beyond graduation.
Through all the work that I've put into finishing my degree, and through the relationships that I've built with professors and other students, I've come to realize that with perseverance and a lot of hard work, I could do almost anything that I set my mind to. I've also realized that your past doesn't have to fully dictate your future, and that sometimes the greatest rewards come when you're brave enough to take a leap and believe in yourself.
Our ceremony officially begins with the activation of the sacred ceremonial lightsaber, which dates back in Fulton Schools lore to the time of the slide rule. Now, to lead the ceremony is Dr. Kyle Squires, Dean of the Ira Fulton Schools of Engineering and Professor of Aerospace and Mechanical Engineering.
To the class of 2021, congratulations. You've made it to convocation. Today is the day you officially become a graduate of the Ira Fulton Schools of Engineering, and that is an accomplishment and distinction you'll carry with you for the rest of your life. So today I'm honored to recognize and celebrate your years of hard work and dedication and join you for this ceremonial passage from the Fulton Schools to whatever waits you in the journey ahead. Now, you're earning your degree during a particular moment in our history when getting back to normal seems within reach. But because of the events of the last year, we're also faced with the realization that how we live and operate has really changed. Though there has been incredible loss and disruption during this time, you've had a front row seat as a global crisis has inspired unprecedented innovations and created opportunities for accelerated technological advancement. I'm heartened that so many of you took an active role in the response by lending research, ideas, volunteer hours to put our communities on a path to emerge stronger and more resilient than ever before. And for those efforts, I genuinely say thank you. So now, having been compelled to iterate, adapt, and evolve as you learn and master your fields, I am confident that you are prepared to embrace change as you face it in the future, and when necessary, to inspire it. As engineering and technology students, you bring a unique perspective and competency to solving problems, creating value, helping others make an impact. I hope your time in the Fulton Schools has shown you what it means to engage in transformational, use-inspired work that extends beyond technological know-how to developing solutions for the public good. You may recognize this as a tenet of the ASU Charter or have absorbed it as a guiding principle of the Fulton difference. However you've met it, I hope that as you face opportunities or challenges ahead, you can reflect on the conversations with your instructors, the time you spent in the lab, working on capstones, the relationships you formed with industry professionals, the times you spent in student orgs, or the satisfaction gained by designing an academic path based on your interests and passions. Take these with you, because these are the experiences that will differentiate you from your peers and what will serve you as a groundwork for progress in whatever role you choose to take on. And even as you reflect on what has gotten you here today, I hope you leave with an appreciation that your training has equipped you to find new ways to get things done and to accomplish your goals. As your alma mater, you can be confident that the Fulton Schools will continue to evolve to meet societal needs and emphasize what we do extremely well, supporting knowledge generation by renowned faculty, transmitting that knowledge to our students, and in the process, produce highly skilled talent that will go out and change the world. Today, that means 3,500 graduates who will make a transformative impact in the Valley, the state, the nation, and across the globe. We've stated in the past that it was the best time ever to be a builder, a technologist, a scientist, an engineer. Today, that's still true. It will matter even more as you do your part to address the complexities of a modern world. Now, for our undergraduates, the process you've undergone of learning, doing, designing, and building that leads to disciplinary excellence, combined with our emphasis outside the classroom, creates a graduate who can learn anything. You can do anything and go wherever you want. At the graduate level, the Fulton Schools are about the ideas, discoveries, translation, and advanced coursework that makes you a master learner of your discipline and a leader in research performed at the very highest levels, demonstrating to your peers why that new knowledge matters, and in turn setting the future direction of the field. At the core of advancing all of our students at all levels are our faculty, the centerpiece of the knowledge, ideas, and discoveries that they so skillfully transmit to our students. So today, as you transition from student to graduate, trust in your preparation to innovate, create, and produce, to never stop learning, and to see change as an opportunity for innovation. Today, we celebrate you, your accomplishments, your hard work, and your willingness to help engineer a better world. Congratulations, graduates.
Hi, my name is Rick Hudson. I'm past president of the Engineering Alumni Chapter of the Fulton Schools of Engineering and the current vice president of communications. I want to congratulate all of you for this tremendous accomplishment as graduates of the Fulton Schools of Engineering. I also want to welcome you as an alum and representing the alumni across the United States as the newest alumni to our Fulton Schools of Engineering. Beside me, I have my son. Robert, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Robert Hudson. I'm a 2021 graduate from Arizona State University with a Bachelor's of Science in Civil Engineering. And I think my dad and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our family legacy at ASU.
Yeah, we have quite a legacy. My grandmother, Robert's great-grandmother, graduated from Tempe State Teachers College in 1927. And then later, my father, following the Korean War, graduated from Arizona State College as an aeronautical technology major in 1957. And he was instrumental in taking Arizona State College from its college status to the university status and establishing the engineering college that we all have available to us now, and allowed both my brother and I to have the opportunity in the mid-'80s to graduate as electrical engineers from what is now the Fulton Schools of Engineering. And we want to state that we really appreciate what that meant to us and how great that opportunity was. Now I'll talk a little bit about Robert's career path. So in 2011, you graduated from high school. How did your career path go after that in terms of education?
So upon graduation of high school, I spent about 1.5 years in the Maricopa Community College District. Then after that, in 2013, I decided to enlist in the United States Army Reserves, sort of to help pay for school, transitioning into Arizona State University.
Yeah, so during that path through the reserves, you had a specific opportunity that presented itself that kind of put you in the interests that you currently have. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so in 2017, I was able to have the opportunity to go on a humanitarian aid mission to Central America. And my unit was direct support for the Army engineers at the time who were building a school and a hospital for the local population of Belize. And honestly, that seemed to be the catalyst that projected my path to be a civil engineer.
That's great. And when you came back from that specific mission trip with the Army, you then went back to CGCC for about 1 year and then transitioned over to ASU. And you mentioned that you went into civil engineering. When you made that transition from CGCC to ASU, what were you kind of thinking about in terms of where you might be going in civil engineering?
Well, I had a general idea of what civil engineers do, but if you had asked me then, I probably would have told you something in transportation or structural engineering.
What changed for you? When did that sort of change to what you're doing now?
Over last summer, I took a class in project management, which is more so on the construction side of civil engineering. I found out what construction management does, and I just fell in love with it, which that kind of projected me on a path of getting an internship with a local general contractor here in Arizona, Jokaki Construction Services. And right now I'm in communication with them about a full-time position upon graduation. And right now I have to say my future's with them.
That's great. And so your path in education hasn't necessarily been a straight line. How has the last year at ASU sort of helped create the type of situation where you can succeed in the future?
Well, I think that engineering school is known for the ability to adapt and overcome. And I think over the past year with the COVID-19 pandemic, that's exactly what we had to do. And I think it speaks volumes about ASU being, #1 school for innovation for the past 6 years. We to continue schooling, we adapted and we overcame.
That's great. One of the things that I've noticed in our engineering alumni chapter is we've progressed through this COVID situation is the fact that we now have board members and members that are active across the U.S. We've realized that the boundaries that we once thought we had, where you had to be local to stay with the academic chapters here at the school, were required that you remain local, and that really hasn't been the case. And now we're getting really active membership from grads that are fairly recently graduated from ASU across the nation. Our future president is in the Michigan area working for Ford. We now have board members that are both in Chicago and Tucson that do key things in the chapter. So one of the things I'd like to do is really encourage you to continue to be involved. Once the dust settles after graduation, reach back to us. We have a web page on the Fulton Schools of Engineering website that can introduce you to us and let us know what you're doing and what we can do to help keep you involved. And finally, I'd like to introduce the final member of the Hudson family. This is my daughter, Emily. She will be starting at ASU this fall in chemical engineering. And we want to make one last statement from the Hudson family to you.
Go Devils, force up!
Good morning, Sharia. Welcome. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Elise. I'm doing very well. How are you? Thank you for speaking with me here today.
Yeah, congratulations. It's your graduation day. How exciting. I'm so excited to be able to hear from you for the next couple minutes. And you know what, to start us off, I have known you for the past 3 years, and I am just not sure I really know how you got here, kind of the beginning of your ASU journey. So why don't you just start us off by telling us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I still remember the first day of college, 17th of August, 2017. I was walking to the Brickyard Engineering building for my good old FSC 100 lecture. I still remember leaving at 7:30 a.m. for my 9 a.m. FSC lecture. Things have changed in the past 4 years. It's been a fantastic 4-year journey. I do not wake up at 7:30 anymore for my 9 a.m. lectures, and I also don't sign up for 9 a.m. lectures anymore. So it's been a drastic change, but I'm very happy with the way the last 4 years have gone.
Yeah, good learning curve there. Okay, that was your first year. Tell us a little bit about your 4 years. How was your college journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in these past 4 years, we've all been through our highs and lows and ups and downs. We've cried through studying in the Nobel Library and not getting any work done, to finishing homework at 11:59 p.m. on the due date, essentially, not the due date. It's been a fantastic 4 years. I think we've all gotten to work on projects and we'll all cherish these past memories. ASU beat UFA 4 years in a row in football, and I think we've all grown into mature, respectful, and kind individuals in these past 4 years, and I'm really looking forward to what's coming next.
Yeah. Well, what is coming next? What are you looking forward to in your career? What's your next step?
Yeah, so I'll be moving to Salt Lake City to start a career with Goldman Sachs. I'll be working as a global markets analyst within their collateral management team. I'm really excited to start this phase of my career. I think as engineers, we've learned to work with people from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different religious identities, different gender identities. And I think it's really important for us as engineers to learn how to build an inclusive environment. I think that's something I thrive on. Being an international student at ASU, I enjoyed studying and thriving in a diverse environment. And I think as an engineer, I am going to be looking forward to creating inclusive environments wherever I go.
Yeah. As your supervisor for a couple years, I can say that is something that you actually do really well. You've been a peer mentor, you've coached some folks. And so you're talking to your peers right now, why don't you tell us a little bit of words of wisdom in terms of mentoring and coaching that you can leave your peers with?
Absolutely. So I had the privilege to work as a Barrett Engineering peer mentor. Thank you to the Fulton Schools of Engineering and Barrett the Honors College for providing me this opportunity. Essentially, I worked with first-year engineering freshmen to enhance their freshman engineering honors experience. I used to put on events for them on a monthly basis and make sure that they're experiencing the desired honors experience that the college offers. I've always been fascinated by this one quote that I heard by Tim Minchin in his graduation speech in Western Australia. And he said, please be a teacher, even if you can't be a teacher. You don't have to do it forever, but if you're ever in doubt about what to do, be a teacher. We should be rejoicing in what we've learned, and we should spread our knowledge. And I think That's something that I hold to my heart. I come from a family of teachers. My mom is a teacher, and I think it's very important for us to share what we've learned so far, and add value and create impact in this world.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all of you've given to the ASU community in your time here. I am so looking forward to what you accomplish even in your next 4-10 years. So congratulations again. I speak for all of Barrett, I'm sure, and anyone who's interacted with you when I say we're really proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you for your time, Elise, and thank you for indulging me.
Yeah.
Well, hello, Liz. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Dean Squires?
Very well. So I understand today is a big day, something to do with your honors thesis. Can you talk about that?
Indeed. Yeah, I just defended my honors thesis, which looked at measuring sense of belonging and self-efficacy in engineering. So that's been a very passionate project for me. ASU has really created a community through the peers and faculty that I've met that have helped me to shape my identity and my confidence as an engineer. So I wanted my honors thesis to look at finding ways that we can measure that to help provide the next incoming classes at ASU and across the nation with better tools to increase that sense of belonging and that community that I've come to love at ASU.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'd like to use the next couple minutes is to just help everybody get to know you and, become familiar with what is really a really impressive journey. And so just to start, you chose electrical engineering. So why that major?
Yeah, that's a great question. So growing up, I really wanted to be a teacher. I grew up in a small town where I was kind of pushed that way. I was kind of pushed to be a teacher or to be kind of a stay-at-home mom. And not that I have any problems with that, but I was always exploring how things worked. And you can ask my grandpa, I used to take things apart and it would drive him crazy because I couldn't quite figure out how to put it back together always. But I was always curious about learning about why things were the way that they were. And so as I got to the high school level and I started to take classes here in Arizona, I started to realize I really liked math and I really liked science. So what career could utilize those skills, also taking into consideration learning about why things work. And I really found out that was engineering and that it was totally okay that I was a female that wanted to pursue engineering and that there were resources available for me to do that, even if it was kind of still something that was newer and I would still be in a minority group. And so I chose electrical engineering specifically because while I had narrowed down engineering, I wasn't sure what industry exactly that I would want to pursue, but I knew electrical engineering was needed in almost every single industry. And now I've come to not regret that decision, and I'll be working in the space and defense industry following graduation.
Also awesome. So congrats. That's a big deal. And, it also reminds, okay, you've had this, really terrific experience in electrical engineering. And one of the things that we also work really hard to do within the Fulton Schools is provide all those opportunities outside the classroom to really provide that rounding, that growth, leadership opportunities, you name it. Can you talk about some of the things that you've done along the way outside the classroom through your experience at ASU?
Absolutely. So one of the big first things that I was involved in is the Grand Challenge Scholars Program, or GCSP. And so when I came to the university level, I didn't want to completely forgo the love that I had for teaching. All of high school, I served as a teacher over the summer. It was something that is a core part of also who I am. And the Grand Challenge Scholars Program really allowed me to incorporate that. And so through the theme of joy of living and specifically engineering tools for engineering education, I was able to combine both passions. And so I've done research on equity in engineering, looking at kind of gender biased development in elementary age students. And I did that as a part of Fury. And now I've moved on to kind of, that was included obviously in the honors thesis that we mentioned before. So GCSP was a really cool opportunity for me to combine both of my passions. The other organization that I was really involved in was the Society of Women Engineers section at ASU. Or as we know it as SWE. So I actually heard one of the presidents speaking at a welcome event when I was still a senior in high school, and I immediately knew that that was a program that I wanted to be a part of, and I wanted to be able to advocate for my fellow peers and those that were advocating for women in engineering as a part of that organization. And I went on to serve as director of outreach for a year, and have actually served as the president for the last 2 years. And it's been such an incredible and humbling opportunity to spend time alongside such incredible and accomplished peers at ASU, and to help provide not only like social development, but also academic and professional development.
Awesome. Wow. So, given all that, when you think back, when you started your journey, right, as a first year student, and, next fall we'll have, brand new engineering majors coming into the Fulton Schools. Based upon how it's gone for you, what would be key things you'd want to communicate to those first year students about to join us again in the fall?
That's a great question. I would say 2 main things. One, get involved, get involved, get involved. I cannot say enough how crucial the experience beyond the classroom is, and taking advantage of networking with peers, networking with fellow faculty, staff, professors. It's such an incredible and invaluable experience that employers really take a look at, and that's heavily considered when you're applying for internships. And second, I would say something that I really had to learn was that professors are not as intimidating as they may seem when you come your first year. I can, not proud of it, but I can say that I was scared of my professors when I first started. I wasn't sure how to approach them, how to go about that thing called office hours. But as soon as I learned that they really are the biggest advocates that I've had, I have had such an incredible opportunity to grow from their mentorship. A big advisor of mine and mentor to help navigate kind of every situation, no matter how small, has definitely been Dr. Bauman. She's been a huge influence in my academic journey so far. And I met her at E2 camp, and then had her for FSE 100. And as soon as I started going to her for advice, I realized how valuable that was. And I've also had the opportunity to work in Dr. Daniel Bliss's research lab. And that's also been just such an incredible growing experience. So really taking advantage of that time with professors is really valuable and important.
Awesome. So tell us about what is next. Where are you going to be headed after graduation?
Yeah, for the last 2 years, I've worked for Northrop Grumman, and I've really found my love for the aerospace and defense industry. I've been working as a systems engineer, and I've really enjoyed that experience. This upcoming summer, I'm switching companies, and I'm working for Raytheon Technologies in Tucson, Arizona. So I'm staying a little bit more local this year, and that'll be a really great. I'll be working on their electrical products team. So a really cool experience for me, just to gain exposure of all of what an electrical engineering student can do going into the workforce. And then I plan to return to ASU in the fall to pursue my master's as a part of the 4+1 program. And then after that point, I'll go full-time in the space and defense industry.
Awesome. So one last question. You think about your peers that are graduating with you. What parting thoughts do you want to also communicate to them as we graduate you all, and congratulate you on all that you've done?
Yeah, awesome. It may sound cliche, but we finally did it. Studying engineering was not an easy academic journey. We all have our fair share of stressful moments of studying, all-nighters, and we've all been blessed with a very high caffeine addiction as we graduate. But I kind of want to just congratulate everyone on choosing to be a part of a field that is intended on bettering the world, whether it's bettering technology, roadways, medical care, scientific tools, what have you. We've all chosen to take our lives and to give back to the world in a tangible manner. So today, as we celebrate, I just want to thank all of you for your efforts, and give ourselves a big pat on the back as we celebrate all of our accomplishments. Being a Sun Devil has really taught us to think better and to push ourselves. And so as we go into our respective jobs and industries, let's really just show them what Sun Devils are made of.
Could not have said it better myself. Liz, thank you so much. Congratulations again, and best of luck as you move forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dean Spires. I appreciate it.
Ira Fulton grew up a few yards from the intersection of University and Mill Avenue. He's a successful businessman who never forgot the lessons that his mother taught him about helping others. He and his late wife, Mary Lou, invested $50 million into President Crow's vision to transform engineering at ASU. They are the reason we have an undergraduate research program, scholarships for top students around the country, world-famous faculty, and the reason that we have become the leading engineering program, having grown from about 6,000 students in 2003 to nearly 25,000 students this year. Their investment catalyzed a reaction that has changed who we are and what we do. He's been there for you at E2, Fury Symposia, and scholarship events. To some of you, he is Dr. Fulton or Mr. Fulton. Within our family, he's Ira.
I want to talk to you about graduation. You're now alumni. Don't forget your university. We need your help continually. The average graduate today, 60% of you will stay in Arizona. 39% of you will go out to where you come from. And then to me, I think that's exciting. And what I'm saying to you is that since you graduate either with your bachelor's, don't forget education. I am a young 87. And I love education. Driving down here today, I says, gee, we're getting slow on the campus. We only count four cranes up. So I either talk to Michael about getting back and getting this thing moving forward more. But it's exciting to what we have. It's exciting for what you have. You have a great I don't know what got you to select this great university and this great college, but I'm glad you did because we need you. I want to wish you nothing but the greatest. I want to thank your parents for getting you here. I want to thank for these professors putting up with you, and I love you. Thank you.
I'm Stephen Phillips, Professor of Electrical Engineering and Director of the School of Electrical, Computer, and Energy Engineering at Arizona State University. The Palais Outstanding Doctoral Student Award was established by Professor Joseph Palais, longtime graduate program chair, and his wife, Sandra. Their generous support through an endowment fund has recognized 17 PhD graduates with a cash award since 2013. The award is presented annually to the best graduating doctoral student in the electrical engineering program. Faculty advisors nominate students, and a faculty committee selects the awardee. The recipient receives a plaque and $1,000. This year's awardee is Hong Chen. Dr. Chen joined ASU's School of Electrical, Computer, and Energy Engineering, enrolling in undergraduate courses in fall 2014 as part of an ASU international collaboration with the Huazhong University of Science and Technology in China. He continued as a graduate student, joining Professor Yuji Zhao's group in 2015. He works in the area of wide bandgap semiconductors. This is the technology that has enabled today's proliferation of high-efficiency LED lighting. Hong has published more than 40 journal papers and presented results in more than 50 conference papers. His work provides innovations for the next generation of quantum computing and communication systems. Hong graduated in August and has joined the prestigious Max Planck Institute of Microstructure Physics in Germany. Please join me in congratulating Hong Chen, the 2021 Palais Outstanding Doctoral Student Award. This is his plaque, and we'll hand it over to him. Thank you.
I would like to acknowledge our highest achieving undergraduates. Students graduating with more awards have maintained a perfect 4.0 grade point average and earned all their credits at ASU. At this time, I want to acknowledge our 102 more graduates because, wow. I'd also like to bring attention to our students graduating from Barrett, the Honors College, and those graduating with some level of honors, cum laude, magna cum laude, or summa cum laude. You've worked diligently at your studies, and these designations are to be congratulated. Well done. For all of the graduates who are currently serving or have served in any branch of our nation's military, we thank you for your service, and we thank your families for their support as well. We should also recognize Peter Lafford for his dedication and commitment to this ceremony. He has again contributed his linguistic expertise to our ceremony today by reading the name of every Fulton Schools graduate. Thank you again for your unparalleled effort. Maria Elena Cisneros has been selected as the university's outstanding graduate for the Ira Fulton Schools of Engineering. Maria Elena is graduating today with a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering. In addition to excelling academically and earning a perfect grade point average, Maria Elena has interned with the Department of Defense, planning tests and writing technical reports for aircraft upgrades, and co-founded a company that designs biomedical devices for physical rehabilitation. Maria Elena holds a doctorate of physical therapy and is a board-certified clinical specialist in the treatment of patients with neurologic diagnoses. Every semester, Fulton Schools faculty members select one undergraduate student from their degree programs as their outstanding graduate. Students designated as outstanding graduates are selected based on their academic performance and for their contributions to advance the success of the Fulton Schools mission. Impact Award recipients have been nominated and are honored for their significant accomplishments beyond the classroom. These students are recognized for excellence in one or more areas of research, leadership, public service, and social entrepreneurship endeavors that have constructively impacted the ASU community, as well as larger communities in Arizona and elsewhere. Finally, you've made it. First, through this unique virtual ceremony, and second, through this part of your journey with the Fulton Schools. We are very proud to call you graduates, now new alumni of the Ira Fulton Schools of Engineering. You should be proud of what you have accomplished and celebrate the significance of this day. The next phase of your journey starts in an interesting place and time. If you trust in your preparation as engineers, builders, and technologists, you will find opportunities all around. Seek out those opportunities and move toward them. By doing so, you'll have advanced your knowledge and skills, your professions, and the societies that we serve. The only remaining piece of advice that I have to offer at this point is don't be afraid to take that bold next step. Just go for it. Life inevitably becomes more involved as we get older, bringing with it more responsibilities that can make it harder for you to try that next new thing. So don't wait. Each step in your journey is an opportunity for learning and growth. You have only 2 remaining assignments. First, stay in touch with us, in person or on social media. Stay involved, because we want to hear from you. Second, pay it forward. You've inevitably benefited from help along the way, so be on the lookout for opportunities to help others. It makes a difference. In fact, today, that notion of paying it forward is more important than it has ever been. Once again, congratulations.
Why the shades? Because your future's so bright. Go Devils! Congrats!
I would like to thank the faculty and all of my friends for all their support over the last 4 years. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my parents, and congratulations class of 21.
And also to say congratulations guys, we did it! Yay, class of 2021!
Congratulations to the class of 2021. Works up.
Throughout my time here at ASU, I've been able to develop not only as a student, but also as a person. I am really grateful for all the connections that I have made, and as always, forks up!
Thank you to everyone who has helped me get here, and congratulations to everyone graduating.
From all of us at the SEMPTE Advising Office,
Congrats!
We are so proud of you, and we know you will all do great things.
Go Devils!